Don't believe me, just watch.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of EZTV on the franchiseok.com. Jerry Ramsey is our web director, and he has everybody at the franchise put up a little piece, for whatever, just whatever angle he would like you to cover. And I do it via video, and he asks, even though I did 2 of these last week for him, he only posted 1 because he says I was late on the other, even though he texted me and said, "Where's your cool chain, dude?" after I sent it to him. But no, he forgot to put it up there. But anyway, I was late, so I said, okay, I'll do a make good for him. I did a second one, and now he's asking me to do a third in the same week. Unbelievable, Jerry. But then he asks me on top of that, as if I haven't done enough for him, could you add a little production value to your videos? And I'm like, Jerry, do you not see the open and the close? I mean, they're kind of dolled up a little bit, don't you think? It's like, no, will you wear something? Some sunglasses, use some props, some sunglasses, a hat. I'm like, what are you talking about? So, I don't know. Let's, here, have a new baby. That means these blankets are all over the place. How about this? That cool? Cover up the old bald head. How about that? That cool here? We good? Here's your prop, Jerry. Anyway, let's continue. So his angle he wanted me to hit on this week, I said, well, why don't I give my easy money plays? He goes, no. We want you to talk about something else. Talk about how Oklahoma State's scheduling, their non-conference scheduling more specifically, if the philosophy of Gundy to schedule more cupcakes instead of more traditional non-conference foes, if it's working. Frankly, we don't know yet, but I'll continue just for Jerry because I seem to do everything he asks, and I really don't know why. Let's assume now Oklahoma State plays UTSA this weekend. Let's assume they're 3-0 after this week, which who knows? I know some of you Oklahoma State fans are starting to bite your fingernails a little bit. I think they're going to be fine, but if they end up running the table, September and October very winnable for them. If they end up getting to November undefeated, but their best win is West Virginia, then I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of difference. Even if they're undefeated, I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of difference if, say, they played Florida State this year, lost to them, and then won out all the way through September, October until they got to the quote-unquote meat of the Big 12 schedule. I don't think it matters. The loss, if you take a loss to a good non-conference opponent, I'm not breaking any ground here, people are going to see that, and they will give you an opportunity to afford a loss, right? At least that's my opinion. But now with Oklahoma State, you've got to run the table. And Gundy says, well, I do that for a couple of reasons. One, it makes the preseason, our training camp, it makes it a little bit softer. We don't have to practice so hard and run players into the ground, and I get that. You don't want to come out of the gate with a Florida State. How about you schedule your Power 5 non-conference opponent a little later into September, perhaps to combat that? That's number one. But number two, he says that this is his philosophy to getting players to the national championship because that's his promise to them. And my answer to that would be ask Baylor. I just wonder if he wants a redo. Ask Baylor, ask TCU. TCU had Minnesota last year, didn't get into the Final Four. And I know there will be the Oklahoma State fans will say, well, one loss here and one loss there. We might have 2 teams from the Big 12 in the Final Four. But you didn't. You didn't. In the 17-year history, actually it's 19 now, 19-year history of the Big 12. I think I've got my numbers right. I could not find a Big 12 team that had ever been denied a national championship game bid in the old BCS and now in the college football playoff format because they lost in the non-conference. Now, if they lost in the conference, yeah, the Big 12, some Big 12 teams were left out of the national championship conversation. But I never saw anyone get left out because of a non-conference loss. So I don't think that argument holds up either. We'll see this year, though. Maybe they just like being undefeated. Maybe they like the 0 in the loss column. Maybe that makes good recruiting pitches. And it could be the case this year that Oklahoma State has a 0 in the loss column heading into November, and perhaps that changes the thought process of some college football committee members. But my guess is now, especially with their schedule backloaded the way it is in the Big 12 this season, if they take a loss in November, it's probably curtains either way. And my guess is that might not necessarily be the case if they ended up beating a non-conference foe in September that was pretty good. That's just my thought. Maybe not. Maybe not. TCU, I guess, beat Minnesota last year. They didn't get in, so maybe not. But my guess is they would have a better chance. That is EZTV for this week, and I hope you enjoyed the crappy prop. You're welcome, Jerry, and we'll talk to you again next time. See ya.
Don't believe me, just watch. Come on.